Really good play today. We really felt like as an entire offense, from the first series on, had good life, had good energy, threw the ball fairly well. Obviously, you always want to do a little bit better, but I was happy with today's practice and how they went about it. Well, I think the main thing for Devondrick is he's gotten a lot of confidence because of the success that he's been having, and because of that confidence, he truly is understanding and feeling more comfortable with the offense. He is not thinking anymore when a play is called. He knows his job and is able to go do it, and his talent has obviously shown through. Well, the thing that it adds, obviously, is it gives another weapon, another guy that you feel very comfortable with getting the ball into his hands. And obviously with Wimberly back, Chantrell, I still feel like has really ran the ball extremely hard. I thought last week he had some of the best 5-yard runs you'd ever like to see, and you'd say, well, 5 yards ain't enough. I'd love to have 50-yard runs for touchdowns, but he really did a nice job making some things out of things that maybe weren't blocked as well as you'd like. Well, we going up tempo is what we want to do. The problem with that up tempo is if you're not getting first downs, you'll be 30 seconds and out, and that's not good for any of us, obviously. If we can move the chains, we want to try to go fast, and that allowed us a little bit to do that. I really feel like, and I think it's shown a little bit that he's close to normal from his ankle standpoint. I mean, he has the ability to stride out a little bit and run. Still maybe doesn't change directions quite as well as he did early in the year, but I really think that from a leg standpoint, he can be that guy. He obviously, in my mind, runs the option better than Grant does, runs zone read better. You guys probably have a better idea than I do, but he's had a number of long runs for us this year, and I think because of his feet, he can do that for us. That's one that we've been scratching our head and working hard to try to get the best opening script that we can, the best plan that we can. I keep telling them, and you got to live in the present. You can't dwell or focus on things that have already happened. You got to live in the present, and this is a new week. It's a week where we need to go down and score on the first drive. I talked to him a little bit about history because a year ago we had 26 opening drives counting the start of the game and the start of his first half. Or second half, and we scored 10 times out of those 26 with 9 touchdowns. You say, well, obviously it's happened in the past. Yeah, it's happened in the past, but the present is the key, and we need to go out and do that. We need to execute. We are the guys on the field and the guys calling plays. We need to make those plays happen and get in the end zone to start us off on a fast note. We generally start with a 12-play script, but it's not running those straight 12 no matter what. Down and distance changes that a little bit. Red zone or not changes that a little bit. So it's not a perfect situation, obviously, each time out. If it worked out perfectly, we'd run 12 plays that we've scripted, basically. We try to stay on that script, even if it's the second or the third drive, but you also are already starting to make adjustments from seeing how they're going to play a formation. Example last week, our trips formation with a tight end on a single side by himself. They played it a little bit different than what we had seen them do. So obviously the next plays that came off that were going to be a little bit different. And one of those plays was the throw to Ernst Brunn. You got to find a happy medium. You, as coaches and as just individuals that want to be successful, you're going to go put in every bit of time that you feel like you need to. And yes, we've put in more time the last 2 weeks than we've probably put in a long time, but you still also got to make sure you're fresh mentally. You can't be ground down to where when game day gets here, you've used it all up during the practice week, and that's the same for your players. You got to find that happy medium of where are they putting in every bit of time that they can to get themselves prepared, both mentally and physically, yet not using it up on the practice field, making sure that when the game gets here, you're sharp and fresh and able to have speed both mentally and physically, having that quickness. It's something that everywhere I've ever been, you worry about that when your season's over. While your season's going, you got your head in that staff room watching video and getting yourself ready, and you worry about those things when the season's over. Well, schematically,
pick up for the next season.
Schematically, you're always looking for something that you would say is something that fits what you do and is easy to implement. And if that's the case, you put it in this week. But if it doesn't fit with what your basic schemes are, and it's not easy to implement, it's too much work for a one day type of setup. And the same thing, when the season's over, you go back and you review and you truly evaluate and try to see what fits your personnel the best. It's a normal Oklahoma defense where you'd say big, long DBs that run well. There are 3 D linemen that they play with, athletic, fast, and obviously they're used to flying to the football, and they've got team speed.